1972, what was believed to be the end of the sex discrimination era around the United States for female athletes was just the beginning. Though opening the doors for women all across the country, Title IX has helped shine light on the ongoing battles that women face at collegiate level. According to the Women's Sports Foundation, by 2012, more than 190,000 women were competing in intercollegiate sports, 6 times as many as in 1972 when Title IX was passed. Good afternoon, I'm Charlie Palumbo.
I'm Nicholas Oxman.
And my name is Honorable Martinez. Our research question is, how have social changes regarding gender equality affected women in college athletics in the United States? This has led us to base an argument on the fact that previous gender equality progressions were a good start, but more needs to be done in order for gender equality to be achieved for everyone in college sports. Our argument led us to find 3 solutions. The first one being creating a movement that creates equal opportunity for scholarships and sponsorships for everyone involved in college sports. The second one being having a percentage of NIL money that players make be donated towards having more equality. This can be anywhere from creating more sponsorships, more scholarships, or creating other things. Lastly, our last solution that we came up with was creating a nonprofit organization that would have the money and it could be used towards creating more scholarships, and this way, the students that have been given less opportunities, it can be all spread out.
Historic social changes may have allowed for governing bodies to make progressions to ensure gender equality. According to the U.S. Department of Education, in 1972, Title IX was an act introduced that prevents discrimination based on sex on any education program or activity that receives federal financial aid. However, 50 years later after Title IX, there's still clear signs of gender inequality in collegiate sports.
Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women. This is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room. Now, the pictures of our weight room got released versus the men's. The NCAA came out with a statement saying that it wasn't money, it was space that was a problem.
According to Sedona Prince, a woman basketball player in the University of Oregon, in the NCAA March Madness tournament, which is the largest college basketball tournament in the nation, this was the weight room offered to the women compared to the weight room offered to the men. We can see clear signs of gender disparity. One day later, after being called, the NCAA said it was a space problem. 3 days later, the NCAA showcased a new training facility. We can see it as an improvement. However, the weight room offered to the men has better quality equipment and better quantity when compared to the women. According to JLE, an independent journalist who received the Mosaic American Award for Excellence and the Literary Award for Journalism, she performed an investigation that shows that in 1972, the same year that Title IX was introduced, around 90% of all women college teams were coached by other women. In 2012, 40 years after Title IX, that number is closer to 45%, which shows that even 40 years after Title IX, we have gone back as a society, and there's still clear signs of gender disparity. The question that arises from this is, why are women coaches important? Well, according to Nicola Boyd, a teacher at the University of Minnesota who has a master's degree in health, fitness, and communication and a PhD in kinesiology, said, all male athletes have a male coaching role model throughout the whole athletic careers. However, women need and deserve the same sex role models. Wait, go back. Sorry. Why are women coaches important? Well, first, women coaches break the gender stereotype that women are not fit enough to be in leadership positions. Secondly, having women coaches allows for better and positive influence and self-perception in women athletes. Thirdly, having a woman coach allows for the athlete and the coach to make a deeper and more related connection when talking about issues that might be present in the personal life. Lastly, having a woman coach present allows for the athletes to have to feel more comfortable when doing the activity that the athlete is supposed to enjoy.
And in addition to what Abdiel said, and related to our main argument, women have been given less opportunities than men throughout the recruitment process of collegiate sports. And there have been less scouts issued to find female talent than male. And even though described by the National Center for Education Statistics show clear increase going from 19% in 1967 to 44% in 2009 of women going to college as students, while men only went from 33 to 38% throughout the same period of time. There is still a huge difference between athletes in the NCAA, as in 2020 there were around 59,000 more athletes, male than female. This just proves the idea that there have been some improvements in gender inequality, however, there's still a lot to be done.
NIL opportunities are clearly uneven among Power 5 schools. According to Jen Greeny, the University of Washington State women's volleyball coach, she says the Washington State women's volleyball team is arguably the best sports team in the school. They have gone to the NCAA. They have gone to the NCAA tournament 6 straight seasons. Greeny said women's teams just aren't a priority. As you can see here, Texas Tech's women's basketball team receives $25,000 in name, image, and likeness deals. And this is reportedly the highest in women's sports. Jaden Rashad deal for male athletes is reportedly $9.5 million, and that is the highest in male athletes.
Media coverage for women is significantly less despite all of the advancements made by Title IX. This has led them to receive less sponsorships, scholarships, and highlights awarded to them. Women branding is obviously limited. According to the National Sports Magazine, out of 716 covers, only 4.9% were women. This is obviously an issue showing how many more opportunities men are awarded than women. According to Purdue University, a research study shows how women are given screen time. There is no denying that. But in the screen time production that goes behind them, the technicalities behind it, and the money awarded to having those productions go into place is obviously less than the ones being handed to women. So now ask yourself, would you watch a commercial that has $1 million put into it, or a commercial that only has $100,000 awarded to it? According to the 2019 Entertaining Sports Programming Network, they based their research on a hypothesis. This hypothesis being that if branding was done through other social medias other than television, which isn't influenced by mainstream news, that women would receive more branding opportunities and more highlight moments. But as you can see in this graph done by the same organization, the results show that in reality, 91.9% of men still receive these opportunities in the section for Twitter. And in television, this was 91%. This being that 0.1% was more, so their hypothesis was incorrect. It actually was way less than they thought it would be. And going along with that research, this research done in 2009 by Harvard students, it shows how the big three in college sports, which is men's football, men's basketball, and men's baseball, altogether in 2009 was still the same amount as it was in 2019. So think to yourself, after 10 years, it is still the same amount. There has been no progressions made from Title IX when it comes to this specific branch. And this isn't even including other men's sports such as men's golf and others. But something good that Title IX has done for women's branding is that in this commercial done by a girls company that provides feminine products such as tampons and pads, they conducted a commercial in which focused asking 10-year-old girls and 16-year-old girls the difference on what it's like to play like a girl, run like a girl, and race like a girl. This raised a lot of conversations, brought a lot of conversations to the table, and opened a lot of doors for women opportunities. This allowed for many of big companies such as Disney to create races where women are portrayed as princesses, what it's like to be feminine and not unladylike when competing in a sport.
Circling back to what I listed in the beginning, while clear solutions for these issues are, first, we should create a movement that focuses on getting people to act to provide equal scholarship and sponsorship opportunities for all collegiate athletes. We should secondly have players who receive an NLA deal donate a portion of the money towards a fund that goes into ensuring player equality. Lastly, we should create a nonprofit organization that focuses on taking donations and putting those donations to use to provide equal scholarship opportunities for all people involved in college sports.
And even though those are all great options, there's still some limitations that could complicate the process. For example, it's not easy to legislate a movement, as it would take a lot of money and time, and specifically people that have the will to do what's better, not only for the self-improvement or personal image. Also, players cannot be forced to donate a profit, as it comes from each one's perspective or even situation, as some might need the money more than the others, so it's not possible to just demand them to donate money. And lastly, it's not guaranteed there isn't a real guaranteed source of income for athletic programs, especially because they come from viewership and sponsorships, two things that women's sports lack as of nowadays. And in conclusion, Title IX has been given a lot of improvements, but there's still a lot to be done in order to improve the condition of women in sports.
Thank you.
Everybody just slide together. Not like back up.
Oh.
You need to be on camera. You two scoot over a little bit. Thank you. All right, let's just go through a question for each one of you guys. See, Charlie, we'll start with you. If you had a fifth member of your team, what would be a perspective that they could deal with that would add to this process?
I believe if we had a fifth member to our group, we could talk about the perspectives of how males feel about how they go along with these females, and feel if they if there's an unequal how there might be an unequal in NIL and equality between those two.
Okay. Let's go down here then. Reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on you and understanding what you guys are talking about in this unit? Or this project, sorry.
I believe the person that had the greatest impact on my personal research was Abdiel. This is because he introduced to me the idea of Title IX. Before in my research, I never circled it back to Title IX. So through Abdiel's research, we were able to connect all of our points together, even though we all had very different perspectives. Each of us included the topic of Title IX, which allowed our argument to be cohesive. So overall, throughout the process, I was able to implement that into my own personal research, which allowed me to be more cohesive with my team members.
All right, thank you. And Abdul, let's go to you since she brought you up. Was there any piece of evidence that you guys collected that you didn't use? And then if so, why didn't you use it?
Yeah, so Nico found an article. We actually found two articles talking about feminine men, and how some men that display women features may be treated differently in their own circle of men, and how maybe that also plays into gender inequality. We didn't decide to use these articles because we found out those were kind of outliers in our investigation, and we determined that they weren't really useful to what we were trying to achieve as a group.
All right, thank you. Let's save the best for last. Talking about the solution you guys came up with, how was your research impacted by the solution that you guys came up with?
So I talked a lot about scholarship, not only scholarships, but opportunities overall. And our solutions kind of involve giving more opportunities by raising awareness or even money. So I think they tied up together as the more opportunities given, more quality will be given also, as there will be more women in the athletic space.